Is Donald Trump a racist?
No, he's not a racist.
If you have an industry like California grapes, like perhaps what you're talking about in Wisconsin, we're going to let people come in, but they're going to come in legally. They're going to come in through a visa program, and they're going to come in legally. And it's going to work out beautifully. You will not be affected. We don't want to affect businesses. We want to grow businesses.
What about the dreamers? What about people who came here when they were children? They didn't know what they were doing. They came with their parents who brought them here illegally. Should they be able to stay legally?
We're going to do something. I've been giving it so much thought. You know, you have on a humanitarian basis, you have a lot of deep thought going into this, believe me. But the Dreamers, it's a tough situation. We're going to do something, and one of the things we're going to do is expedite. When somebody's terrific, we want them back.
Now we're learning what it's like to work for Trump, straight from a woman who was a close business executive for 18 years.
What was it like working for Donald Trump?
He was the first one there, and he was there for like 2 hours. He'd answer the phone.
He would answer the phone?
Absolutely. Trump
Donald
Organization,
Trump.
Yes.
Barbara Ress is a former VP for Trump who oversaw construction of his crown jewel on Manhattan's swanky Fifth Avenue, Trump Tower.
He told me he thought I was a killer, and that's what he liked in people.
A woman in the audience asked Trump if he'd hire veterans at that hotel. Here's how he responded.
What are you looking for? What kind of a position? Come up here, come here. She looks so smart and good. Do you mind if I do a job interview right now? We need good people. How are you? So what's your experience in front of the world?
Well, I design, I do wreaths, I do all types of decorations.
And you like this building?
Yes,
okay.
I do.
So here's what I'm going to do. There's the man. Stand right over here.
Oh my God.
If we can make a good deal in the salary, she's going to probably have a job, okay? All right, good. Have a good time. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you. Good. Thank you. So nice. Really nice. I felt good about her. I tell you what, I looked at her. I said, I have gut instinct, okay? And we're allowed to have that. And I looked at her and she asked a question, and it was a very positive question. She looks like she's got a great look, and look at that with the tears. How nice. She just seemed like a good person to me. As your president, I will do everything in my power to protect our LGBTQ citizens from the violence and oppression of a hateful foreign ideology. Believe me. And I have to say, as a Republican, it is so nice to hear you cheering for what I just said. Thank you.
Trump has nothing against Mexicans. He has something against illegal immigration.
I got to know Donald Trump after he spoke here in 2012, and I learned so much about him that the public never hears, and I wanted to share that with our audience. Right after he visited here last time, I called him about a large Christian ministry in another state that needed some help. I learned within a day or two he had donated $100,000 of his own money. He learned about Clyde Frazier Jr., who ran the Harlem Hoops tournament in the inner city and was killed in the 9/11 attacks, and he searched down the family and he donated the money to keep that tournament going. Example after example like that of just generosity that never made it into the public's eye. His limousine broke down one time. A couple stopped and helped him. he paid off their mortgage a few days later.
Donald did help out Sergeant Tamorisi. He sent him money to help him jumpstart his life. Sergeant Tamorisi rotted in a Mexican prison for 214 days. President Obama wouldn't even pick up the phone to help.
Hundreds of children skated on a New York.
Thanks for the endorsement, Bill. Took you long enough.
Oh, snap! I was running on CP time.
Cautious politician time.
I was running on CP time. I don't like jokes like that, Bill. That's not
Thanks to you, Donald Trump, for being with us tonight. We need your building skills, your gusto, your rent package for people on Wall Street who represent diversity, and we thank you for coming tonight. Let's give Donald Trump a big hand. A big hand for Donald Trump. I now want to bring forth a friend who has, well, he is deceptive in that his social style is of such. One can miss his seriousness, and his commitment for their success is beyond argument. When we opened this Wall Street project and we talked about it, he gave us space at 40 Wall Street, which was to make a statement about our having a presence there. And beyond that, in terms of reaching out and being inclusive, he's done that too. And created for many people a comfort zone when I ran for the presidency in 84 and 88. And many others thought it was either laughable or something to avoid. He came to our business meeting here in New York. Last year he was a part of our workshop, of our panel workshop on what are the challenges and opportunities. And so a year later, Donald Trump, for a few minutes, challenges and opportunities to embrace the underserved communities. Donald Trump.
I will tell you, a large percentage of the people, and especially in construction, that are building these great jobs are black and minorities, and I'm very proud of it. They do a great job. There are no better builders than we have in New York, and a big percentage of that is black and minority folks. So I just want to thank everybody in the room for being here. I look forward to some questions. Thank you, and thank you, Jesse, and congratulations.
The niece of Dr. Martin Luther King and Fox News contributor Velva King. Nice to see you, ma'am. As always, good morning. Thank you.
Racism is just a word that's being bandied and thrown about and thrown at the president, in my opinion, unjustly. President Trump is not a racist. I've been with the president recently quite a bit, and when he signed the legislation making the historic site, Martin Luther King site in Atlanta, Georgia, a national park, it was introduced by Congressman John Lewis, and that, believe it or not, that's one thing the two of them did together. It took two to do it, and I'm so glad the president has done it. But what is so outrageous to call a man a racist who continues to acknowledge the significant work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., my uncle, in a positive way, and in our own nation. He's doing a great job with prison reform and helping those prisoners come back to society to lead productive lives. He said to people on Medicaid, okay, you need assistance, that's a good thing, but you need to work as well. Have the dignity of a job. I like all of those things.
So, I was going through the news a couple of days ago and I ran across this. Unemployment among blacks has dropped to 6.8%. That's according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. That's the lowest in 45 years. Then I came across this. Trump signs law creating National Historic Park for Martin Luther King Jr. After all that, I saw this.
I'm Don Lemon. The President of the United States is racist.
What? Now I know what this is about. Allegedly, President Trump called some African countries and Haiti whole nations. Their proof? Trump also said, why can't we get immigrants from Norway? Contrasting Haiti's people with Norway's people. I posit this. Norway is the best place to live in the world, according to the UN. That means America falls behind Norway. I believe what President was trying to say is we Americans should shoot for those immigrants that are highly educated and skilled so America can compete. It's just my opinion that 45 was not saying he hates brown people. He was saying he'd like to get the best from the best. Why would a devout racist sign into law a Martin Luther King National Park? The answer? A devout racist wouldn't.
Said what he said, but I ask us to truly examine what he said. Because it is a fact that for 54 years, we have been voting for the Democratic Party like no other race in America, and they have not given us the same loyalty and love that we have given them. We as black people have to re-examine the relationship.
I agree.
Where we're being pimped like prostitutes, and they're the big pimps pimping us politically, promising us everything, and we get nothing in return. We got to step back now as black people and say we got to look at all the parties and vote our best interests.
Look, I couldn't agree with you more, Quidel. I couldn't agree with you more. And I think what's going on, I know what's going on, is you take your CNNs, you take your NBC, CBS, ABC, and to a certain degree, every once in a while, the network that I won't mention because we're on it right now, they seem to have this opinion that Donald Trump is a horrific individual and he can't do anything right.
Directly to black people.
Right.
And I want to say and encourage your brothers and sisters, Barack Obama, our president, served 2 terms. The first black president ever. But did our condition get better? Did financially, politically, academically, with education in our community, did things get better? Are our young people working more than what it was before they came into office?
They got worse.
The condition got worse.
Right.
I love the signs behind me. Blacks for Trump. I like those signs. Blacks for Trump. You watch. You watch. Those signs are great. Thank you.
Well, this is Black History Month, so this is our little breakfast, our little get-together. Hi, Lynn. How are you?
Hi, how are you,
Good,
sir?
nice to see you. And just a few notes. During this month, we honor the tremendous history of the African Americans throughout our country, throughout the world, if you really think about it, right? And their story is one of unimaginable sacrifice, hard work, and faith in America. Last month, we celebrated the life of the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., whose incredible example is unique in American history. You read all about Dr. Martin Luther King a week ago when somebody said I took the statue out of my office. And it turned out that that was fake news. Fake news. The statue is cherished. It's one of the favorite things and we have such a. I am very proud now that we have a museum in the National Mall where people can learn about Reverend King, so many other things. Frederick Douglass is an example of somebody who's done an amazing job and is being recognized more and more, I notice. Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, and millions more black Americans who made America what it is today. Big impact. I'm proud to honor this heritage, and we'll be honoring it more and more. The folks at the table, in almost all cases, have been great friends and supporters. And we're going to need better schools, and we need them soon. We need more jobs. We need better wages, a lot better wages. We're going to work very hard in the inner city.
I thought it was an amazing meeting. I thought that I met some fantastic people, some of whom I've known. I thought it was an absolutely amazing, it lasted for 2.5 hours. We came up with lots of good ideas and lots of future ideas, but I thought it was an amazing meeting.
And how did...
Well, look, the concerns are, you look at unemployment, you look at African-American, Katie, look at African-American youth. I mean, you have 51% unemployment. There's tremendous concerns, and they have a right to be concerned. Well, I will not forget these people. I want to tell you, they are really, really smart, sharp, amazing people who love their community, who love the country, and love their community. And having the help of all of you folks, I tell you what, it's been really an honor, and I appreciate it so much. I appreciate it so much. Thank you very much.
I'm deeply honored to welcome the members of the Congressional Black Caucus to the White House. Throughout my campaign, I pledged to focus on improving conditions for African American citizens. This means more to me than anybody would understand or know. Every American child has a right to grow up in a safe community, to attend great schools, to graduate with access to high-paying jobs. American children in cities like Baltimore and Chicago and Detroit, African-American citizens have given so much to this country. They fought in every war since the Revolution, and they fought hard. They've lifted up the conscience of our nation in the march toward civil rights, enriched the soul of America and their faith and courage, and they've advanced our country in the fields of science, arts, and medicine.
South Carolina became the first state with body cameras. There's more work to be done, but got to lay down these markers. You got to build toward common sense. I think we've got somebody saying here, we have to bring them
apologize for mass
to
incarceration.
heel. Okay, we'll talk
I'm
about
not a super predator, Hillary Clinton.
Okay, fine, we'll talk about it.
You apologize to black people for mass incarceration?
Well, can I talk, and then maybe you can listen to what I say.
You called black
And
people
about
super predators.
You're being rude.
Super predators. That's rude. That's rude.
Now, do you want to hear the facts, or you just want to talk?
I know that you called black youth super predators in 1994. Please explain the record. Explain it to us. You owe black people an apology.
President Bill Clinton's crime bill, which has been criticized for sparking a surge in prison population and disproportionately hurting black and Latino communities. Listen.
Not just gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators. No conscience, no empathy. We can talk about why they ended up that way, but first we have to bring them to heel.
She's the beautiful biracial model who dated President Trump for 2 years. Cara Young's mother is black, her father is white. Now she's speaking out in the wake of Trump's controversial response to the neo-Nazi rally in Charlottesville. "I didn't hide my race from Donald Trump. He knew," Cara told today's New York Times. "He would say, 'You're like Derek Jeter,' and I would say, 'Exactly.' I never heard him say a disparaging comment towards any race of people." Now a mom told the TV show Chasing News that Trump was not a racist.
"I would never go out with anybody that was a racist. Of course not. That's crazy."
Carless. Now she wants America to know more about the man she knew all those years ago.
"I would never go out with anybody that was a racist. Of course not."
How great! How great are they? How great are they? I turn on my television one night and I see these two on television. I say, they are the greatest. What is it? They became an internet sensation. I hope you've monetized it a little bit. Do you want to?
Everybody to know, yes, that we stand behind Donald J. Trump. Yes, we do, baby. Yes. Yes. We support Donald J. Trump. Yes. And we endorse Donald J. Trump. And this is going to be our next president of these United States. Woo! Build it.
How good, how good. What people. What great people. Okay, let's take another. So this is Historically Black Colleges and Universities Executive Order. Very important to all of us. This group has been fantastic, many of which we were with yesterday, and really developed something very special. So thank you all for being here. Thank you, Mr. Vice President, also, Mike, for being here. This is a very important moment, and a moment that means a great deal to me. This month has been a wonderful opportunity to celebrate African American history and to begin working together to create a better future for African Americans and universities and colleges and everything that is African American. Today we're taking action to help make that future happen and that future better. Historically, black colleges and universities are incredibly important institutions woven into the fabric of our history just about like no other. Church is very important, right? Yes. Colleges and universities. Come here. My defender, he's on there. Education has the power to uplift. It has the power to transform, and perhaps most important, education has the power to create greater equality and justice in our lives. That's why today I'm thrilled to be signing an executive order to recognize the importance of historically black college and universities. Very important. With this executive order, we will make HBCUs a priority in the White House, an absolute priority.
All right.
Yes. That they're not a priority, but that's okay. And we will pledge our support to you, your mission, and our shared mission of bringing education and opportunity to all of our people. And so I just want to congratulate, these are very, very special people surrounding me. You've done an amazing job. It's not easy. Nothing's easy. But you've done an amazing job, and I just want to congratulate you all, and I want to thank you on behalf of our country. And I'm going to sign this.
Thank you. Thank you.
And this is really fantastic. Who's going to get that?
Show entitled I May Look Different, But I Have New Friends. We met an adorable 10-year-old girl named Megan. Now, Megan was born with brittle bone disease. Now, Megan's mother, Debbie, felt her daughter, Megan, was all alone in the world. A person who took a special interest in you. There was somebody else who saw you. And he's a very famous person. and he wanted to give you a present too. So watch this in the monitor. I don't know if you know who he is.
Hi, Megan. My name's Donald, and you probably don't know me, but I was watching Maury's show the other day, and I must tell you, you really hit me right here. I think you are so beautiful, and both inside and out. I had a little something, a little gift that I gave to Maury, who's a friend of mine, and a very good golfer. Don't ever play him in golf. He's very, very good, believe me. And I gave him a little gift for you, and I hope you and your mother have a good time with it. And you're very special, and you just keep it up and keep up that attitude. So good luck, and you stay in touch.
So, he is one of the most generous people I know. And he wants you and your mom to have a very special check. And when we talk about Donald Trump, when he gives out checks, we're not talking chump change here. This is big time money. So, look at that. Do you know how much that's for? Did you get all those zeros right?
Today, I was compelled to sit down and write this letter. Not to anyone in particular, maybe even just for myself, but as a black female executive at the Trump Organization, I can no longer remain silent about the repeated and reprehensible attempts to align my boss and his family with racist hate-mongering groups, campaigns, and messaging. As the daughter of a man born in Birmingham, Alabama, who rose against all odds to become one of the most established and respected doctors at Yale University, there is no amount of money in the world that could buy my loyalty to a family that subscribed to such intolerant and bigoted ideologies. The Trump family that I know is, without question, one of the most generous, compassionate, and philanthropic families I've ever had the privilege of knowing and the honor to call friends. They have been incredibly loyal to me and to the countless dedicated people they employ around the world, hiring more minority and female executives than any other company for which I've ever worked. To equate racism with my boss's call for a temporary moratorium on a flawed immigration system that radical Islamic terrorists continue to exploit, or the construction of an impassable wall to protect our borders from the influx of illegal drugs, is not only incendiary, it's wholly irresponsible and only serves to embolden the very hatred these draconian groups espouse. What common sense American wants another terrorist attack on our soil, or to perpetuate this country's rampant drug epidemic? But to compare my boss to Adolf Hitler, simply to spin your own political agenda or social media punchline, is a personal affront to the extermination of over 6 million Jews and trivializes one of the worst acts of human genocide this world has ever seen. Rest assured, I am a highly intelligent, free-thinking, and independent woman. My opinions and decisions are based solely in fact, not fiction, speculation, assumption, or hearsay. I do not vote based upon the color of my skin, nor the signature on my paycheck. I judge my friends and forge my allegiances from direct personal interaction and moral character. That said, there is no higher barometer by which to measure oneself than the one continually set by this family and their spouses, and I should know. Like many Americans, I have struggled with substance abuse and addiction. The Trump family has stood by me through immensely difficult times without hesitation or concern for their own reputation by association. They continue to trust me with every aspect of their lives and the lives of their families. They invite me into their homes and welcome me at their family gatherings. For the past 6 years, I have held an executive position as it pertains to the distribution of their charitable funds, and they have charged me to identify worthy and altruistic missions. I could not be more humbled. This is the Trump family that I know. Only up until now, it's all just been opposing campaign rhetoric and paid protesters. But then, a letter came. And I thought to myself, who does this person think he is to threaten to kill somebody else's family? Any family. This family. My family. All because of a political race? A campaign? But then I realized that this isn't just a race to Mr. Trump. This isn't just a race to his family, nor to our veterans or the unemployed. And because of that, This family is willing to risk their own lives each and every day for the greater good of this country. To the skeptics who will undoubtedly claim that I'm doing this at the behest of the Trump family or with the promise of reward, I deliberately chose not to seek their approval nor counsel in advance of this video for fear that they would be more concerned for me and its potential viral ramifications than they would be for themselves and the fact that, quite simply, this is the right thing to do.
You've actually pulled back and you've not gone after him for specific comments. You've hit him on policy, but not comments. Where are you on this?
You know, I don't think the comments were constructive at all, but I also think that, to be fair, we shouldn't draw conclusions that he didn't intend. I know personally about his feelings towards Haiti and towards Central America because when I was not a candidate for president and he wasn't a candidate for president, I went down there on a medical mission trip. I did about 200 cataract surgeries with a group of surgeons in Haiti and the same in Central America. And when we asked Donald J. Trump as a private citizen to support those trips, he was a large financial backer of both medical mission trips. So I think it's unfair to sort of draw conclusions from a remark that I think wasn't constructive, is the least we can say. And I think it's unfair then to sort of all of a sudden paint him, oh, well, he's a racist, when I know for a fact that he cares very deeply about the people in Haiti because he helped to finance a trip where we were able to get vision back for 200 people in Haiti.